Hi, friends and family. It's your girl, Life with the Roberts. I want to tell you thank you for commenting, thank you for liking and subscribing. So, guys, the reason why I'm here today is because I wanted to touch base on this topic. And the topic I chose to discuss with you guys is could the way you grew up in Africa, could it affect your decisions and perception about going back, about doing a project, about deciding if you want to stay in Africa? Could the way you grew up, could the way things turn out, could things that you saw, could that also affect your decisions on returning or doing stuff in your home or going back? Okay, so what do I mean? I have been having this conversation with some friends and family, and because most of them know I am all things Liberia, I believe in my home, because like I said, if it's not us, then who? So when I have conversation with them, a lot of them that are in the diaspora, they will say, I'm not ready to go back to Liberia yet. I'm not ready to do project. I don't think I'm gonna move back. And most of the time when I ask them why, it's most of their reasons is due to what I'm about to talk about here. So that's the reason why I'm asking you, my subscribers, could the way you grew up affect your decisions and perceptions about returning back to Africa? So now we all know about the lack of job opportunity in the country, poor infrastructures, corruptions, lack of good education, lack of good health care. We know that that is all over the world, all over the African countries. So we know about that. But also, could it be like what you saw, what you went through? So let me tell you, I was having this conversation with this particular person, and they was like, "Oh, Josephine, I see your videos on YouTube, but for me, I suffer too much in that country, so I'm not ready to go back." So I started to ask the person, I'm like, "What did you go through?" And the person stated that they used to take food to the market, like their mom used to fry donuts, and they used to take it to the market to sell, and they used to wear just one slippers, and when they cut, their parents would not have money for that, or they wasn't really attending good school, and all they knew was the only type of two houses they knew was the zinc rounds houses and the dead black houses. That's what they knew while they was in Africa the whole time. So while they were explaining this to me, they asked me, they're like, "Okay, but maybe the reason why you like Liberia, or you want to go back to Liberia, or you want to retire in Liberia, it is because of how you grew up." So then she asked me, she's like, where were your family like? How did you grow up? So I told her I came from a family of a lot of siblings. My mom has 9 kids. But my mom was a school teacher. My dad was in the army, and we went to school every day. We didn't have to put anything on our head to sell. I shared room with my siblings, but it was bunk beds, all girls. And I told her about how every Sunday morning, I remember my mom used to make shortbread with fried eggs for us before we go to church. And we had car taking us to school and bringing us from school. And then she's like, "Oh, you see, I didn't have that opportunity, and mine was total suffering. I suffered too much in that country. So that's the reason why I'm not," she said, she's not saying that she won't go back, but because she suffered too much, she's not ready yet. So this is where I come in. I understand, all fingers are not equal. yes, we all went through different things. Even though I told you guys a little bit about how I grew up, and yes, I think before all the war, my family left, but I did see a little bit, and I seen some on TV, you know, so I kind of want to understand with her a little bit. But then the part where I'm coming in at is, okay, we went through those experiences, right? We all have our past about what went on when we were growing up. Okay, so let's fast forward. We, like she stated, she didn't have any slippers, she came from a poor background. But fast forward to now, where are we now? We are in a country where we have good jobs opportunity compared to what I described in the beginning. We have 24-hour electricity, we have good jobs, we have great economic stability because you're in America or Europe or Asia, wherever you find yourself. And we also have experience from the outside world. So my thing here is, okay, when you're growing up, this is all you went through. You were suffering, you were selling, you only knew these two type of houses. And now fast forward to where we are now, and you're living this good life. You have jobs, you could go to school, you're doing great things. So what I don't understand now, why isn't that a good reason, since you used to live in a dirt black house, since you only lived in Zing Round, but you as an individual, you have the opportunity now, right? I'm not saying abandon everything you're doing in the Western world and just go back to Africa and live there. I'm saying because you suffer, because you had a lot of struggle, you should remember where you're coming from and go back and do something. Why am I saying it? We're in America, right? And you will hear all these celebrities, American celebrities, telling you, oh, I was in the Bronx. That's where I grew up, in the Bronx. So I went back to the Bronx and I built this basketball center for kids. And you will hear a lot of stories they explain about how they grew up, so they want to go back and do something and be a role model or be a positive impact to that community or that place. So that's where I'm coming from. Since you suffer, you have all this bad experience, but now you have the opportunity. So what is your excuse? What is your excuse? The suffering didn't continue now. I know some people are traumatized, but you're in a better space now. I'm not saying, like I said, this is not to tell everybody drop everything you're doing and rush on back to Africa. I'm just here to encourage you, because a lot of people don't actually know a lot of good things that are going on there. And for me, I'm the type, I want to encourage people, because I know there is a time that's going to come and people are going to be like, oh my God, I wish I knew sooner. Or, oh my God, I wish I could have done this sooner. So that's the point where I'm coming from. And I believe if you do not have struggle, you will not have a success story. So the fact that you went through that, here we are now. Think about now. Now you have the opportunity. Now you're young. You lived in this horrible house. Do something now. Do something now, because this place is not our home. I don't think no matter how many years we stay here, we can never get adjusted to the system here. You know, as for me, I mean, people, you have kids, you have established family here. I'm not saying drop everything and go, but I'm saying be thinking in that direction. Because that time is going to come where you wish you would have done something. And I think it feels good to go back to maybe a place where you had nothing and now you have something. Like how I told you guys about the American celebrities. Me personally, when I go back to where I come from, to tell you the truth, I was little. So all the people that would come around and be like, hi, Josephine, hi, Josephine. I really don't know them, but it feels good knowing that this is where I came from and this is where I'm at now, you know. So I don't want to make this video too long. I'm just here to encourage you guys, whoever this video touch. Forget about your traumas and how you grew up. All of that made you who you are today. If you didn't go through that struggle, you will not be where you are at today. To have a success story, there must be a struggle. In this whole life we're living, anybody's story that you listen to, any famous person, you will hear them telling you about how their mom was probably a single mom, they didn't have dad around, or they went through struggles, they grew up in the ghetto, but now this is where they're at. So I'm just encouraging my fellow Africans, despite of what we went through when we were growing up, we have the opportunity now, and I believe God sent us outside to gain outside experience so we can be able to go back and create a positive income in our community. So I'm just trying to encourage you, if you can relate to what I talk about, could the way you grew up in Africa affect your decision and perception about going back to Africa, about returning? Let me know. If you had this horrible past, but you're someone that's struggling to decide what to do, let me know. Yes, I went through this, but this is what I'm doing. I also want to know too, because guys, I was watching another YouTuber on YouTube. His name, he got this horrible name that I don't like to say, but I'm just gonna say it. His name on YouTube is Your Papa Not Bear. I'm sorry, but that's just his name. So he was saying that when he got ready to come to America, because he has a disability, his family members were saying, oh, he shouldn't be the one to go to America because he's disabled. What is he going to do there? Because he's disabled. America is for people who have 2 hands, 2 feet, and things that can work. But despite that, despite his disability, he was able to come here, made something out of his life, become somebody, went back to his hometown or where he grew up, or Africa, and he built this nice house. He built this nice house. And I was watching his channel on YouTube. I mean, he did his open house and everything. What made me sad was he said a lot of his family members couldn't come to the open house because they didn't believe that he could do that. You know, sometimes it's not about what people say. It is about what God say. It is about what God say, who you are or what you are going to be. So not to make this video long, please comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know of your experience while growing up, and let me know what you're doing today. If you're not doing anything now, like I said, I'm still encouraging you. Let me know what you plan to do in the nearest future. So guys, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And remember what I always say, God time is the best. Stay blessed. Until the next video, have a blessed day.